Good evening, Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys, where we've got ourselves a major talking point. We wrote about this on cowboyssi.com earlier today. As always, there's the usual handful of people on social media who don't read the story, who just say, Fish, you have the words Matthew, Stafford, and Cowboys in the same headline. Clickbait. The good news, so that's the bad news. There's 3 people that are running around saying clickbait when I try to tell you it's fish meat. The good news regarding the way we do our business is the following. This story, there's probably 20,000 of you that have already read it. If you haven't, cowboyssi.com. This story, let me make sure I get it just right here. I'm sorry, bear with me. Tonight is being read by 165,791 of you. Tonight. It's a reinforcement for me. First of all, obviously, I know what I'm doing when I write a headline. I know how to write a headline. I know how to write. But it's confirmation for me because, listen, if you went into this story and you went and 100,000 people were going, this sucks, then it would die. This isn't going to die because we've researched it right. We've asked the right questions. We've gotten the right answers. This stems from someplace. I didn't make this up myself. I didn't make up this ridiculous idea of silly season by myself. I didn't make it up at all. I woke up at 2 o'clock on Monday morning, a little early, but not much, because I knew we'd be loaded for bear today. Loaded for bear after the NFC and AFC championship games. A lot of work to do, a lot of writing to do, a lot of phone calls to make, draft, coaching, and again, this is across the NFL landscape, obviously, but certainly with the Cowboys. Draft, coaching, personnel, veterans, free agency, trades, what we talk about all the time here. And again, I didn't originate this idea. I talk about it all the time with NFL executives, coaches, etc. It's our job, they will say, to think of all these ideas, even the silly ones. And if it's their job to think about them, if Stephen Jones and Will McClay are thinking about, oh, what about this idea? Then we're going to do it. And it's not clickbaity for them to do it, and it's not clickbaity for us to do it. Not if, when you read the story, you go, oh, hadn't thought of it that way, or, oh, Fish, how'd you find that out? That's a good one. That's what we try to do here. 20,000 of you buy it here. 166,000 of you tonight understand. And I can't tell you how flattered and encouraged I am by that. I want to make sure that 20,000 of you are reading that. I'd really like to get the 165,000 of them to come over here and get a free subscription to come hang out with us. By the way, we are working on the Fish Sports store. So maybe. I mean, we really are. We're trying hard. I'm too stupid. Cowboys trade for Stafford, but lose Dak, Amari, and pick number 10? Now again, as I write in the story, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Mike Fisher, the moron who told Mike Florio he's a moron because he had to be exaggerating that Deshaun Watson thing. Well, no, it turns out I owe Florio lunch. By the way, a few of you have pointed this out. Fish, I thought you said about Florio. I did. I stand by what I said about Mike Florio's track record in breaking news about bombshell trades. I mean, this might be the first one he ever got right, because all the stuff that he tries to say, this could happen, always involves blockbuster, gigantic guys. I wonder why. But he absolutely had information on Deshaun Watson's dissatisfaction in Houston, and now look where we are. It's a nightmare for them. So I've learned a lesson. I'm the moron who said, no way. And now I have to reintroduce myself to the idea of never say never. And I do it all the time here. Now, like today, look what we're doing in the quarterback market today. Deshaun Watson is something. Carson Wentz is something. Aaron Rodgers is something. And Matthew Stafford forged an agreement with the Detroit Lions. They say, hey, let's go ahead and trade me. Now, on the one hand, I guess that's cool. On the other hand, I'm not saying that Matthew Stafford is the same as Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson, but I mean, he's the first round pick and he's been there for a decade and he's the face of the franchise and all that. And he wants to leave too. He wants to leave early too. He's got 2 years left on his contract. That group of guys, some of them, other teams have what I call acquisition access. That is to say, I mean, Aaron Rodgers stood on a podium and said, I don't know what my future holds. We'll talk about that at a later date, because I know exactly what he's doing. I know exactly what he's doing. Deshaun Watson hasn't said anything, but I think we have a good idea what's going on there. I don't know who wants Carson Wentz, but you can't throw him in the trash can. And Matthew Stafford has himself an understanding with the Lions. Get me out of here. I'll go peacefully. We, as you know, here on this channel, examined soberly the idea of a Dak swap with Houston for an unhappy Watson. And again, I didn't say it was going to happen. What I wrote is, here's a how-to guide of all of the dominoes that would have to fall. I'm not predicting they fall. Quite the contrary. I'm not predicting Deshaun Watson's playing for the Cowboys. I didn't write that, didn't say that. I'm saying the teams need to dig into all the ideas and ponder what would happen if. And so we talked to people, and then we did our deal here, examining the dominoes. That's all. And if you go back and watch that video, just go search for Dak, Deshaun, Fish. There's no clickbait. It's facts, many of which you can't get anywhere else, which is all I care about. So here we go to silly season. And it's on Yahoo, which has some level of gravitas. And it's a story being billed by some as a rumor about Matthew Stafford being traded to Dallas. And almost every sentence written in this thing is baloney. I know I used the word baloney on Florio. You got me. I'm going to stick with baloney here. I'm going to walk you through this. There's about 5 bullet points. I want you to understand what we do and what the Cowboys do, and how, as best we could do it, it's very similar in our examination of the how-to guide, the dominoes. Item. The Dallas Cowboys now have another alternative if they choose to move on from pending free agent Dak Prescott. Fish. There is no credible information that suggests that Dak is being moved on from. None. Move on? I mean, don't sign him? They point out that he's a pending free agent. I mean, just, okay, see ya. Are you out of your mind? I cannot think of a more stupid move than to move on from Dak Prescott with no compensation, leaving him unsigned. It's ridiculous. Next item. Prescott's coming off a serious injury. The injury was serious, but the surgery was successful. This is not an issue. Dak Prescott's not gonna be playing next year limping. It's just not gonna happen. By the way, what I didn't point out in our coverage of this is, if Dak Prescott's gonna be playing in the NFL on one leg, why does any other team want him? Maybe they don't, because the Cowboys are just gonna dump him, according to Yahoo. He underwent ankle surgery. Okay? He didn't have like his head amputated. He had ankle surgery. It's his ankle. There is no evidence of anything contrary to my belief that in late spring he'll be practicing. Item: Stafford is a Texas native. No, he's not. First of all, if we're going to get it right, and I don't make mistakes. I will say this, though. When I make a mistake, see, like when Florio makes a mistake, he just bowls forward and pretends it never happened, or pretend that's not what he meant. One of the reasons that I'm amused by what he does, but also impressed. I mean, he's built himself quite a kingdom. I make mistakes. I made 2 major mistakes. Of course, I divorced both of them. Stafford was not born in Texas. He was born in Florida. Then when he was little, the family moved to Georgia, and then so his dad could go to, I think, grad school. And then they moved to Dallas, landed in Highland Park, and then he became a high school superstar at Highland Park High School in Dallas. Is he a Dallas guy? I know a bunch of people who know him, and I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out if Matthew Stafford thinks of, boy, I can't wait to go home to Highland Park. I have no idea if he still has a connection there or anything, but I'm going to check. But the fact that he's a Texas native, which he's not, has not. I can't say that is any reason why he would play for or get traded to or be. This is professional football. Okay, this isn't neighborhood lawn jarts. Is that what they were called? Lawn darts? Jarts? Item from Yahoo. He has the type of physical arm talent that has made Jerry Jones weak in the knees before. I don't have any idea what this means, Yahoo. You mean Jerry Jones likes quarterbacks with good arms? You mean Jerry Jones likes quarterbacks with good arms more than other teams like quarterbacks with good arms? That, like, the Colts, the Patriots, the Niners, the Jets, Washington, all of whom could be in the running for Matthew Stafford, they don't like quarterbacks with strong arms? What are you talking about? Jerry Jones likes quarterbacks with good arms. It's just nonsense. I mean, of course he does. But what would be the alternative? By the way, the Cowboys' history of quarterbacks under Jerry Jones, Troy Aikman had an exceptionally strong arm. Who else? Think all of them. Who else? What is the Jerry Jones Cowboy history of exceptionally strong arm quarterbacks? Aikman, Tony Romo, a lot of terrific things. Exceptionally strong arm, not one of them. If you think Dak Prescott has an exceptionally strong arm, which I don't think that's accurate, then why are you replacing him? Quincy Carter? Steve Berline? Steve Walsh? Item from Yahoo. The Cowboys could create a trade involving Michael Gallup or Amari Cooper that could sweeten the pot. along with the Cowboys giving their number 10 overall draft pick in any deal with Detroit. So what Yahoo's proposing as pretending is a rumor, even though it's just a rumor they made up, the Cowboys would give up on Dak, so that's Dak's minus. They'd trade Amari Cooper, that's Pro Bowl receiver, who's 26, 27-year-old quarterback, Pro Bowl quarterback, 26-year-old Pro Bowl wide receiver, and pick number 10 for 32-year-old Matthew Stafford. Why would I give up 3 of those things for 1 of those things? I'll stand corrected if some team does that. Any team. If any team says, we're going to cut our good quarterback, acquire Stafford, give a star wide receiver for him, and give a top 10 pick for him. That's a little hot. You talk about sweet. You're right, Yahoo. That is a damn sweet pot. By the way, Detroit's trying to cut down costs and rebuild. They want a $20 million receiver in Amari Cooper? They do. Stafford this year, by the way, played all 16 games, 4,000 yards passing, 26-10 touchdown to interception ratio. He's a good player, I think. I think on the right team, he might be an up and over the top player. San Francisco, Washington with Matthew Stafford would be scary. But this rumor, which isn't a rumor, it's just a figment of some writer's cubicle imagination, would mean to get Stafford, Dallas is giving up Cooper, the number 10 overall pick, and leaving Dak floating out in the wilderness unsigned. That's a very sweetened pot. There are ways to really do this. Again, I give you Washington, which has cap space, $35 million projected. You can pay Stafford his $20 million, which is half the going rate for a star quarterback, and then still go shop free agency, go buy him a wide receiver, and watch Washington win the division again. They also have draft pick ammunition in Washington. Number 19 overall pick, little extra picks later. Hate to call them extra picks, but more than the usual number of picks later. I think Washington's bid should be number 19 overall. I don't think they should say, we'll give you 19 and Chase Young and another. No. You have Detroit over a barrel a little bit here. They've done that to themselves. So that's a how-to guide, what I just gave you for Washington. Dumping Dak and Amari and number 10 for Stafford. There's no how-to guide to that. Stafford in silver and blue, well, I mean, he already has that. It's a different kind of silver, it's a different kind of blue, but he always has that. But Stafford in this silver and blue, I guess I'm going to learn from Florio and be a never say never guy. But even more forcefully, I'm going to say, thanks for subscribing. Dak, I don't think Dak's going anywhere. Des Bryant's hoodie is going somewhere to you soon. I know I told you we'd get to 20, and we got to 20 a couple days ago. We'll get there. Just hang with me. So welcome to Fish Report. Welcome to Dez's hoodie in a little bit. And in regard to this trade talk, which I like the research on, but then when we get to the conclusion of it, welcome to silly season. Fish out.